Okay, so we are finally, I think, out of the pasukim about poverty and wealth. I guess we'll find out. This is 19:8. Yutes Ches. Kone lev ohev nafsho, shomer tavuna limso tov. There's a nice rhythm to it. All right, how are we translating this one?
I'm not exactly sure what the contribution of Kone lev is. Is it one who acquires?
Yeah, one who acquires.
Lev?
Yeah, so we'll say heart and mind because that could be both.
Loves his soul.
Loves his soul. Yeah, go on.
The garner of discernment to find good.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is the only way to learn it, but I feel like you have to read this as a description of the same person because of the infinitive, right? So guard it. He guards his soul. I guess, yeah, he guards his soul to find good. Yeah. All right. Also, just note that, and I think this is just a fairly like common Mishlei thing. For the first half, you can either say the way you did, which is one who acquires a heart or mind loves a soul, or you could flip it, right? One who loves his soul acquires a heart or mind, and those are both equally valid Hebrew readings. But then the last part is going to be the same. He guards his. He guards. Oops, I forgot to write understanding. He guards understanding to find good. Understanding to find good. Okay, good. And then we have Sadigon who says Harochesh es hachachma, one who accumulates. I guess rochesh is like accumulates a wealth of chachma. Harihu. No, I bet that's a very Rabbeinu Yonah type thing to say. Like, since we're talking about wealth and poverty, we're going to now go to the true wealth of poverty. Harihu ohevet nafsho. Behold, he loves his soul. Okay, so he's definitely taking a stance on the first way that we translated it. One who acquires a heart, behold, he loves his soul. Vashomer asatvuna matza tov. Okay, so he puts it into the past tense. And one who, and he also adds talks about a different, okay, let me just type this out. Okay, one who accumulates wisdom, behold, he loves his soul. And one who guards the understanding has found good. All right, slightly nuanced, different translation here. And then Targum Ksuvim says, Kane liba tava, rachem nafshe. One who has acquired a good heart or mind. Okay, rachem nafshe. I don't know my conjugations. I think I'm not sure if this is in past tense or not. So we'll just keep it in the same tense here. Loves his soul. Nater biuna mashkach tabsa. Okay. One who loves biuna is also weird. Yeah. Oh, did I say nater biuna? One. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, one who guards understanding finds good. Yeah. All right, fine. Okay. So the main chidush there is good. He adds the adjective tov. Okay. Then we got ArtScroll. One who acquires understanding loves his soul. Now, this is a very typically ArtScrolly move, which in Mishlei, ArtScroll translates lev as understanding. So that's based on the fact that in Mishlei, chasar lev is often the opposite of tavuna. But you know they're taking certain liberties here. One who acquires understanding loves his soul, guarding understanding to find good. I mean, I don't like translating it that way because it kind of like. Yeah, right. And the pasuk uses different terms. Now, if we interpret it and it comes out that way, fine. But like, it's kind of glossing over the nuance in the wording. All right, so I'm going to delete that. Living Knox says, he who acquires a heart does himself a service. Okay, that's interesting. I think I mistyped this. He preserves discernment so as to find good. Does himself a service. What kind of? That's not a translation. There's no way to translate that. Yeah.
There's not
no, it's like an interpretation. Yeah, straight out. Okay, fine. And then Alter says, no, just write your own Mishlei. Why don't you? who acquires good sense cares for himself. Ohev nafsho cares for himself. Okay, that's also loose. Who guards discernment will find good. I don't like those. All right, fine. Okay, so let's just stick with our translations, I think, with keeping Sadigon in mind and Targum in mind. All right, so what are the questions here?
How does this relate to wealth and poverty? What does it mean to acquire really?
Yes, that would be a main question. What does kone lave mean, right? And breaking that into two parts, what is lave and what is kone? Yeah. I should mention also, I don't think this is shot, but kone can also mean to create, like kone shemai varetz, you know?
Well, doesn't that, I thought that Kodesh Baritz means he acquires it because of the fact that he created it.
I've heard people explain it both ways. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, like for example, what was it?
Like you create something with yours.
Right, right. I mean, the real first time it uses it in the Torah is with Chava, right? Is that she has Kain and she named him Kain because Kanisi ish es Hashem. I have made a man with God. You know, I think it is smoother than I've acquired. You know, but yeah. All right, so that's Kone Lev. I guess we got to ask, what's the cause and effect relationship between the Kone Lev and Ohev Nafsho, right? Or what's the relationship, I should just say, between Kone Lev and Ohev Nafsho, which is partially a translation question and partially an interpretation question.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, yeah. I'll put that there also.
It sounds like generic good for you.
Yeah. So I guess what is Ohev Nafsho, and that could be split into two parts also, which is what nefesh is it talking about? Or what is nefesh in this context, I should say. What is nefesh in this context? And then what is this ahava? Yeah.
What does it mean to guard tribunal?
Yeah. This is a very definition-y pasuk. What does shomer tuvuna mean?
It doesn't seem like a thing that you guard. It's not like people are gonna come and plunder.
Well, you know, if you're not mocking on China's intellectual property piracy. So tuvuna, also, I guess we have to ask, what is tuvuna in this context? And what is the shmira of tuvuna, right? Shmira from what?
What good are you finding?
Yeah.
And what's the
Shmira from what? How?
yeah.
Yeah, this is one of these, every single part here has a problem.
But
So
at the same time, it sounds such a like perplexing puzzle.
in terms of the reading, yeah, it's like straight, it is written straightforward, right? Meaning that this is the type of thing where I feel like theoretically, like it should be fairly easy for things to fall into place once we get certain directions here. Yeah. So what was the last question though about the limso tov? What's the tov? Did you say? Or
What's the tov?
what's the tov?
Yeah.
And then how does shmir tuvuna lead to tov? To find the good?
Yeah. And this is a very minor question. What's the seems to the fact that it's lintel as opposed to
Yeah.
yeah.
What is the implication of matzah? Yeah. And then what's the relationship between the two halves of the pasuk? Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to read what I have here because that was a lot. All right, so what is, and I numbered them conservatively. So question one, what does kone lev mean? What is lev and what is kone? Two, what is ohev nafsho? What is the nefesh in this context and what is ahava? Three, what's the relationship between kone lev and ohev nafsho? Four, what does shomer tuvuna mean? What is tuvuna in this context? How is shmira? What is the shmira tuvuna? Shmira from what and how? I guess that could have been broken up into several parts. Five, what is the tov? How does shmira tuvuna lead to finding tov? What is the implication of matzah? Six, what is the relationship between the two halves of the pasuk? And then seven, who is the audience? Yeah. All right.
So if I were to just combine one divided into one question, it would be
what is it saying?
what are these words mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So this is one where I'm definitely tempted to try to extrapolate from the pasuk itself, just given how many definitions are flying around here.
As opposed to
meaning, I guess that's what I would do anyway, but like
to be recalcitrant to meforshim or like
yeah. In other words, I'm sensing that the meforshim are going to take this in many different directions. So like, let's focus and see what we can get from the pasuk itself. Not that we're working on the Targum, but it is interesting that the Targum says liba tava. I don't know if that implies acquiring a good lave as opposed to a bad lave, like you should make sure you get the good one, or if it means that you already have a lave, but you should get a tov one, meaning, I think those are two slightly different implications there. I'm not inclined to think about it in the Targum way also, because he's adding a word. Koni lev ohev nafsho, shomer tevuna limto tov. See, the fact that it joins that second half of the pasuk makes it sound like the entire pasuk is like one process or something. Koni lev ohev nafsho. So it's like Koni lev and shomer tevuna are the two steps, and the two results are, or not results, the two statements being made about the person who's Koni lev and shomer tevuna is that he's ohev nafsho, I guess, in that he's finding good. That I think that's like the least complicated read. And I mean, you can make it even less complicated if you said that Kone lev and shomer tevuna are the same thing, just different ways of saying it. And then the pasuk is just saying the same thing in two different ways to show two different angles in each half. That'd be the simplest way. And when I say simplest, I mean like the fewest elements.
Yeah, I'm going to take a very rough stab at it.
Okay.
Which is a person who acquires understanding about something, who looks into something to really understand it, will he's caring for himself in some way.
Okay.
By it's not just that he knows more about it, he's also caring for himself because then he can act more in a better way.
Okay.
The thing.
That's good.
And then then the second half is someone who's preserving his understanding. I don't know why it would need preservation. Will I'm not sure.
Okay, so but I like that step also. By the way, I just want to add one question here. What is the opposite?
Yeah.
But so first of all, I think it's a good move to say that the understanding we're talking about here is understanding that is Mishleic, in the sense that it's going to have practical ramifications. Because if it's talking about theoretical, you don't necessarily maybe in a very, very abstract sense, then that would benefit you such that you could say that you love yourself, but certainly in a Mishlei sense, if you try to understand something, you're going to be better oriented to make decisions vis-a-vis that thing, and you're going to get better. You're going to be, motzei tov. You're going to find good from that.
It's not like you're not learning the composition of Jupiter's atmosphere.
Yes, yes. Maybe someday that'll help, but not right now. I should also mention, by the way, translation-wise, Ohev Nafsho does not necessarily have to mean soul. It could just mean self. Loves himself, right? Like Nafsho and Atmo are both used for self. What this kind of reminds me of, I know I'm not supposed to look at other pasukim right now, but I just want to bring this up because it's on my mind. Reminds me of Mishlei at the end of chapter 9. We're going into the introductory stuff. I think it's chapter 9. Is it 9? Hold on. Maybe it's 8. Maybe it's 7. I thought it was 9. Hold on just a second here. Yeah. There's a pasuk in 9:12 which says, "Im chachamta lach, v'latzta levadcha tisa." If you have become wise, you became wise for yourself. But if you have scorned, presumably meaning scorned wisdom, levadcha tisa, you alone will suffer it. It's emphasizing the self-serving nature of chachma here. So if you are konei lev, that's going to benefit you. And if you, and I think it actually goes both ways, meaning if you love your soul, if you love yourself, you're going to seek understanding. You're going to seek, or whatever this lave is, you're going to seek that. And if you're seeking that, then that is an expression of the fact that you have this good self-interest, So then I guess this now shifts the question to what does it mean to shomer tavuna? So shomer from what?
And what exactly the lave is.
Yeah, and where's the lave? Yeah, and it's funny though, like I'm almost not, like intuitively, I'm almost not, I don't know if it matters what the lave is. The lave is going to have something to do with knowledge, it seems. Just again, I'm just inferring that based on the fact that tavuna is in the second half of the pasuk, but what kind of knowledge? I don't even know if it matters. Now we might discover it matters when it says shomer tavuna,
So I have another question based on what we've said so far.
Yeah.
Which is that this seems extremely general. Like this could have been like the title pasuk of Mishlei.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's two possibilities. Either it is general or it just sounds general. Yeah. I also want to mention that if we're talking about lave being mind, so I'm pretty sure that the word lave is associated with chachma and tavuna and da'as. So it's not like it points to one or the other. Like I feel like I've seen, levav chachma or like lev chachamim, and then I mentioned chasar lev is the opposite of ish tavuna in Mishlei, and then lev lada'as is definitely a thing. Like yeah. So I don't know if it points to either one. So
and tuna is that like bina? Like
yeah, tuna and bina for we can assume are the same thing. Maybe in some cases they're different. And tavuna, out of all the knowledge terms, tavuna is the one that has the most consistent definition. Tavuna is derived knowledge. Whether it's derived like deductively or inductively, like that different contexts might mean different things, but it's derived. As opposed to received, as opposed to where you read it or you hear it. See, so now that makes me think, if we're talking about, tavuna could mean two things also, in the sense, is tavuna the process of arriving at this knowledge, or is it the results of the knowledge? Because if it's the process, I can see where guarding comes into play. Because if you're talking about deriving knowledge, engaging in a process, if it's chachma, if it's just like the knowledge itself, so that either you get the knowledge or you don't. But if you are deriving the knowledge, then that is a process that needs shmira, so you don't make mistakes.
Let's say like probabilistic thinking.
Yeah.
So that's something that you need to like guard to make sure, because if it's like facts, you don't need to. There's not like either you remember.
So I guess this is only in inductive, not in deductive. Because if it's deductive, then then it can't go wrong. But if it's inductive, so you need to make sure that you have all the facts. You need to make sure that you're not, that you're weighing them properly. You need to make sure that you guard against fallacies, all that other stuff.
Like this, like a thought process.
Yeah. Yeah.
The process of analysis.
Yeah. See, so this okay. I'm just riffing here. Like, if this entire thing is describing one process, so then Kone Lev might be, okay, if we just take the terms Kone Lev and Shomer Tavuna, right? And just ignore everything else. And you ask me, well, what two steps or stages is this referring to? I would say Kone Lev is getting the facts, or getting the knowledge, and then like the facts, not necessarily empirical facts, but the facts that you're working with from which you're deriving stuff. And then Tavuna is the step of deriving knowledge from that. So Kone Lev and Shomer Tavuna, you need both of them in order to limso tov. You need to make sure that you have acquired all of the relevant facts, and you need to guard your Tavuna from mistakes. Now, Oiv Nafsho just sneaks in there. And in other words, like if you just had a pasuk that Kone Lev Shomer Tavuna Limso Tov, I'd be like, oh, that's one idea, But then what is the Oiv Nafsho doing there? And is Oiv Nafsho just related to Kone Lev, or is Oiv Nafsho related to the entire thing, just like Limso Tov is presumably related to the entire thing? I don't think it's a stretch to say that Limso Tov is related to the entire thing.
I mean, definitely in terms of consistency, it would make sense for it to apply to the whole thing. Fum Satov is going to.
Yeah, I would say so also. So then now the question is, let's take that for granted, right? So then the question is, what is being gained? Like, I feel like if the approach we're taking right now, the baseline idea is going to be about the process of arriving at understanding that actually yields good results, meaning that the Kone Lev Shomer Tuvuna Limso Tov. And then now the question is, what is being added to that idea by framing it as Ohev Nafsho? And now I'm kind of thinking, is Ohev Nafsho, does it just mean self, or is there a meaning of Nefesh that would add like specificity to this idea? Because I think that's what we need now, is we have this general idea that this is describing the process of knowledge, but then we need some specificity angle. Oh, here's a possibility. I don't know if this is too okay. The nature of this pasuk is it's kind of speculative, right? In terms of like so broad. So there's two. When you engage in the right process of deriving knowledge by gathering facts and then guarding your thought process against error. So you're doing two things. One is that you're getting good, like you're finding good, but then the other is you actually are shaping your mind. Like with each idea that you get, you're refining, you're perfecting your mind, which in turn allows you to gain more ideas, which in turn allows you to perfect your, etc. Like that's the remember earlier last pasuk that we did, what we were talking about Tuna and Das, we did that really complicated Rambam of Ein Bina Ein Das, Ein Das Ein Bina, and I mentioned that that's like the most difficult Rambam ever in anything, but like the main idea that Mishnah is teaching you of Ein Das Ein Bina Ein Das is that the more knowledge you gain, the more it affects your ability to understand, and then the more understanding you have, the more it affects your ability to get knowledge, and like they reinforce each other. So Ohev Nafsho, if Nefesh does mean your seichel, so then when you engage in the process of arriving at knowledge through deriving knowledge, you're doing two things. It's gonna have an effect on the good that you find, but then you're also gonna be improving your faculty of knowing. But then the question is, so what? That didn't get us the specificity that I wanted. Then we have to, I mean, the opposite would also be, and now let me just maybe say the opposite, is that a person who does not do this, let's say you're not vigilant and thorough in, or responsible in like being konei leiv, in like acquiring the facts, or you don't guard your tavuna. So it's gonna have two bad ramifications. One is that you're going to not get the good, or you're gonna decrease your chances of getting the good that you're trying to obtain, and you're gonna be corrupting the faculty of thinking, which will yield more problems in the future. And okay, I'm just riding this intuitive wave. Okay, I'm just so then what's the practical idea here? So I think the subject of this pasuk is it's against intellectual laziness. Okay, and by that I mean that there's a tremendous temptation to try to skip steps or shortcut the process, and either in the form of not gathering all the facts that you need to gather, or in the process of not checking your understanding for errors, like I'm doing right now. No, obviously there's a time when you should be like just striving for the ideas, but I'm saying like as a trend, a person who habitually is not engaged in thorough kinyan leiv of like finding the facts, or a person who is trying to shortcut the process of tavuna and like not checking their svaras, or not like deliberating, so it's only going to result in withholding good and active harm, whereas if you take the pains to be responsible in both steps of the process, that's just going to yield compound benefit. It's like a good investment, yeah.
I have a different way of.
A different way of doing it. Could we just do one thing? I want to check. I have not seen the Ralbag yet, but this is totally the type of idea that he would say. So let's just check the Ralbag. It should be on the last page of the packet, I think. Oh yeah. What is this? Ches? Tes?
Because
Oh, it's Ches. Yeah.
it's very short.
Mishu who kone seichel. Okay, so he's someone who acquires intelligence. I don't know what his unique implications of seichel are. Who oiv nafsho, he loves the soul. Ki bezeh tagia hatzlachas nefesh, because through that you will arrive at success of the soul. Great. V'hu shomer belibo hatavuna limso hatov hamiti v'hatachlisi v'hu das kedoshim. Okay, das kedoshim, I do know what he holds. Das kedoshim means abstract knowledge in his lingo. Wait, what is this?
Oh, I thought it was a reference to what we've been doing in Rambam.
It is.
Oh.
I just didn't want to take that route, but he holds as the same thing as knowledge of forms. Yeah. V'hu shomer, let's ignore that conveniently. V'hu shomer belibo hatavuna, he guards in his mind or his heart the understanding limto hatov, to find the hatov ha'amiti v'hatachlisi, the true and ultimate good, v'hu das kedoshim, which is knowledge of immaterial forms. Okay, fine. That didn't play out the way I thought it would. Yeah. Yeah, Isaac, what was your idea or your approach? I mean.
Yeah. So, the first half is a person who is learning, let's say a procedure of thinking.
Okay.
Let's say how to do, let's say, statistical calculations.
Yeah.
Or let's say a Mishlei idea. Person who's learning something that they're. I don't exactly have.
Okay, then you just talk it out. Yeah.
Yeah. But the second part is changing the way that you're thinking about about that area.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you'll really find good. I'd say the opposite is a person who is kone leiv but is not shomer tevuna.
I think I missed what your kone leiv was. Shomer tevuna is developing a certain way of thinking about something.
Yeah.
Okay, and kone leiv is what again?
Okay, so let's say like a person who takes a statistics class.
Yeah.
So they know how to do, let's say, the calculations.
Yeah.
But they don't think about it, analyze it to figure out how to apply it to their everyday decision making.
Mm-hmm.
So they're a person can think like, statistics is helpful for day-to-day life because it comes up.
Yeah.
But then if you're not like incorporating it into your way of thinking, you're not really going to get the full good of it.
Okay, so how is, if he just did that first step, how is that ohev nafsho?
Well, I'm saying that's his motivation.
Oh, okay, so in other words, so he wants
to
benefit.
He wants the good of the knowledge.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe he will get it like occasionally.
Yeah.
But when like it comes to mind, but if you don't take the step to incorporate it into your thinking so you can like apply it to new situations that aren't like textbook cases,
Yeah.
then you're not really gonna get the full good.
So I think the thing that I hear the idea you're saying, and I like the idea, but I think the thing that I am bothered by in the pasuk is it almost, unless you tell me if you can read it without doing what I'm going to say, which is, sounds like you need to add in the words but and only. Like, one who loves his soul will acquire leiv, but in order to find good, you have to be shomer tevuna.
I'm going to try.
Okay, sure. Yeah. And it is weird, by the way, just as a side point, to see a pasuk without a vav in it. Isn't that strange? I feel like every pasuk has a vav in the middle, Yeah, go ahead.
So, konel leiv ohev nafsho. So, a person who acquires understanding to love himself. Shomer tevuna limsoto, guards discernment to find good.
Okay.
Meaning, the way that he finds good is by guarding discernment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, I think the other thing I guess that is a smoother read. I think the other thing I'm not satisfied with is the I feel like you still can get good if you don't if you don't fully incorporate the thing into your thinking, into your whole way of thinking. Yeah.
I wasn't saying you don't get good.
Right.
Saying,
I mean, you're pulling a similar move to the raw bog, which is hatov, like ha'amiti v'hatachlisi, like the ultimate level of good, like a high level of good or something,
Well, I'm saying you'll.
or it's spectrum.
I'm saying you'll. Like to yeah, I'm not saying like Das Kedoshim.
Yeah. No, I don't mean that sense of final good. Yeah.
Yeah, but like like you do benefit from having an understanding of something, like a hit, even if you're not like incorporating into your thinking.
Yeah.
At least occasionally.
Yeah.
But like, you're not going to be able to, you're not going to be able to get the full benefit of something if it just remains as like dry knowledge.
Yeah. That's a good idea. Oh, whoa, yeah, you're right. It says my meeting will end in 10 minutes. So I guess they didn't renew the Zoom account or something. Interesting. Contact your IT team to upgrade to Zoom Pro for unlimited group meetings. I hope this is actually, I mean, it is recording, but yeah. All right, fine. So I guess we have 10 minutes. Yeah. All right, let's look at meforshim here until we get kicked off.
Okay, also, I had a different understanding also,
sure.
Or do you want to go? Okay.
No, go ahead.
Okay. I also I'd understood it in relation to learning also, not as much as a specific singular time learning, but I understood Kone Lev Ohev Nafsho to be someone who puts himself into the position of learning. That is someone who is doing a good for himself. That's someone who is Ohev his nefesh. I took that to mean more his mind. And then, but then the Shomer Tivuna Limso Tov is he needs to keep that as a continuous thing, not as just a one time to be Kone Lev and that will be all that he needs, but to continuously be adding on more and more and more. And I know in a way that we say that, like you can't just say like, oh, like I've learned and like now it's I'm gonna stop learning and I'm gonna be good forever. But that he needs to continuously build upon it and to keep that good going for himself.
Okay. Second half, I understand that the Shomer Tuvuna is a maintenance type of Shemira, of like persevering in it. Explain to me again what the Kone Lev is, the distinction between a one-time thing versus putting yourself into a situation. I forgot what you said, putting yourself into a situation of learning.
Yeah. I think it's like as an overall setting up yourself to be, to first like start yourself on that path of, be it like a life of learning, or to set yourself up in a situation where you will be in a usual place for learning. And then once you are, that's the first step of the Kona.
Yeah.
And then from there, you can go to the Shomer Tivuna to keep yourself in that sort of situation.
Okay, I hear that. Yeah, so it's interesting just comparing the three approaches now, right? So my approach, Isaac's approach, and David's approach. So my approach is looking at, according to my approach, the subject of the pasuk is like the ingredients to okay, let me think. I just want to, rather than go to the meforshim, I think we're going to get more if we just clarify the three approaches here. According to my approach, let me just say the idea again, and then try to get it clear. Is that I'm saying that this is referring to the two elements of deriving knowledge. That you need Kone Lev, which I'm saying is to acquire the facts, and then Shomer Tivuna, which means guarding against faults in understanding. And if you do that, you're going to get two results, which is you're going to find good, meaning that the knowledge will help you to get more out of your decisions, and you'll reap more benefits from that. But then you'll also be improving your nefesh. You'll also be improving your faculty of understanding, and that all of this compounds. That this is true in a particular incident, like one instance, but it was also true in the long run. And that's really what the purpose of the pasuk is it's saying that you need to do this consistently if you want these results. And to the extent that you do it, these results will compound. And to the extent that you don't, then you'll find the opposite. You either won't get good or you'll be corrupting your faculty. Yeah, Isaac?
It's kind of the finding good.
Yeah.
Which is, I think it's, I think it could be read as like that you're finding, you're like getting more out of it than like it seems like you get at first glance.
meaning that it's like mitzia, like
Yeah.
ooh, bonus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's according to the way I'm learning it. According to the way you're learning, Isaac, then it's talking about what would you say the subject of the pasuk is according to you?
Making full use of your knowledge.
Making full use of your knowledge, and that you need to incorporate it into your way of thinking in order to be able to reap the benefits.
Yeah.
As opposed to just like having knowledge being like access to certain facts or principles in a like tool belt type way.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to like change your perspective and the way that you think about the world. Okay, good. And then David is saying that is really talking about a relationship to learning, I guess. That the first step is, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that the first step is as an overall relationship. That the first step is putting yourself in there, and then the second step is keeping yourself in there.
Yeah.
In a life of learning.
Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. I think those are 3 good approaches. Let's just use the remaining 5 minutes and 11 seconds to look at the at the meforshim here. So let's look at Metzudas David for starters here. I just got to get back to the right page. Hold on. He says, Kone lev lefi shehadas hu belev, since knowledge is in the mind. Amar kone lev. It says acquiring lev. So it really means acquiring knowledge. Okay, fine. Amar kone hadas hu ohev nafsho. One who acquires the knowledge loves his soul. V'hashomer tuvana belibo, one who guards tuvana in his heart. Leval yishkachacha, whatever. Yishkachacha. He siba limtzotov. That would be a cause to find good. So he's learning tuvana not as the process, but as the result. And he's not really explaining what ohev nefesh is. All right, fine. If we had time, we would think about that. But I just want to see. Look at Meiri above him. Kone lev ohev nafsho shomer tuvana limtzotov. Rotza b'zeh shamishtado liknos seichel. Someone who strives to acquire intelligence. Ulotzio lefoal, and to actualize it, or to bring it out in action. Ohev nafsho. So he loves the soul. Ki bo yizke l'shleimus hanitzchi. That will lead him to eternal perfection, right? Meaning perfection of his soul, his immaterial soul. V'hu shomer tuvuna lekavanas hatachlis, and he will guard understanding for the ultimate purpose, v'hu limtzotov, which is to find good, rotam hatov hatzafun, the hidden good. So that's also about learning about olam haba, not really our thing. Rabbeinu Yonah, left column, lived inyan hachanufa, maradif amarim. So since it talked about flattery, okay, he does tie it to the previous pasuk. Bala hazir al kinyan hamidos hatovos. He says it's about good midos. I mean, leiv does mean midos tovos, right? Like I think that's in Pirkei Avos, the leiv tov. I think is midos, but or at least I don't know if it's Rabbeinu Yonah there. V'amar ki mishu ohev nafsho, someone who loves his soul, kone hamidos hatovos. He will acquire good midos. Ki malas hanefesh lefi midoseha, because the stature of the soul, or the virtue of the soul, is in accordance with its midos. The kinyan halev hu kinyan hamidos. Kasher kasu v'shomei tachachas kone lev. Okay, shomer tuvana limtzotov. Kasher yizbonim belibo al davar tuvana, when he contemplates in his mind on a matter of understanding. V'yichadish davar tov or yishme'enu mizulasa, or he comes up with a new good idea, or he hears it from someone else. Yishmerenu v'yasim hadavar al libo v'yishkod al zechiraso lahotzio elamaasehu. So he will preserve it and yasim hadavar al libo, and place the matter on his heart. V'yishkod al zechiraso, and be diligent about remembering it. Lahotzio elamaasehu, to enact it. Umina derech hazeh yikneh ha'adam hamidos hatovos v'yimtzatov. All right, this is a sufficiently different interpretation that I kind of want to come back to this tomorrow and just explore this a little bit more. In the remaining 2 minutes and 18 seconds, let's look at the rid above him. Okay, I don't know what that is. Miyuchas l'Rav Avraham ben Ezra. He connected to the next pasuk. Okay, skip that. Avraham ben Ezra kisvei yad. Kone lev pirush kone seichel ohev nafsho shomer tuvuna yikave limtzotov. You can hope to find good. Okay, and then Ri Nachmias is the only one we didn't do. Konen lev ohev nafsho shomer tuvuna limtzotov. Ohev nafsho lahachayosa, to make it, to sustain it, to make it alive. Ki haseichel belev chay hanefesh. Seichel is in the mind. In the mind. I don't know what that is. Chen shomer tuvuna limtzotov lanafsho lamtio tova v'olam hazeh v'olam haba. All right, so he's also learning about it. I want to come back tomorrow and do the Rabbeinu Yonah, just to, and then maybe sharpen up our ideas, and then move on to the next pasuk after that. All right, good. We got some places.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. See you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.